Hello, Java Challenger. Today we're going to be talking about overcoming the fear of long-term unemployment as a Java developer. So just to remind you, the High Value Developer Roadmap will start next week and it will be released on Monday at 8 a.m. The first masterclass will be released on Monday. The second one will be released on Wednesday. And the last one will be released on Friday. And all of them will start at 8 a.m. London time. And pay attention because those masterclasses will be available for just a short period of time. So make time in your schedule to watch them because I know for a fact that those masterclasses has a true potential of transforming your Java career. Okay, so let's talk about how to overcome this fear of long-term unemployment as a Java developer. So how can we prevent that? How can we improve that? So we need to be always upgrading our skills, right? So you have to be always aware of what are the latest Java versions, and it's important to understand what are the latest Java features. For example, the Java Challengers talks are good for you to keep up with the latest Java features. And it's also important to keep up with the latest versions from Spring Boot or even Hibernate so that you are able to create higher quality microservices, because in the vast majority of the companies, they are using Spring Boot as a framework. And also expand your skill set, because it's necessary to know cloud services like AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud, or even Oracle Cloud, and other programming languages such as Python or Kotlin. So why it's important to know other programming languages? Because when you understand other programming languages, you'll become a better software engineer, because you're going to see similar features in other programming languages, or you're going to see some features that are cool that you don't have in Java, and vice versa. You might see some features that you see in Java, but you don't see in other programming languages. And remember that there's no silver bullet programming language. Like for some things, Java will be better, and for other things, you can use Python or you can use any other programming language. And using multiple programming languages as a software developer, it's normal when you're working with microservices, because like your microservice doesn't depend exactly on one programming language. Obviously, you would have a standard in most companies, but you have the option of creating your microservice with any programming language you want, because the microservices in the end will communicate via HTTP protocol or anything else you would like. So it doesn't matter too much what programming language you use, as long as you are clear with your team and you decide to communicate, it should be okay. So it's also important to build your networking, because usually when you lose your job or when you leave your job, the quickest way to find another job is to leverage your networking. So people who worked with you before, who knows that you do a good job, they will definitely recommend you to another company. And that's the way I got most of my jobs. Like if I left one job, I would send a message to a friend, and then I would say, hey, is there an opportunity there? And it usually would be an opportunity, and they would recommend me. So it's important to leverage networking, because if you do a good work and if you treat everyone well, if you're kind to everyone, there's no reason why people wouldn't recommend you. right? If they know you do a good job, if they know you're a good person, like there's no way that they wouldn't recommend you. So that's why it's so important to be kind to your colleagues and to your coworkers. Otherwise, they won't remember you when you need. So and that's the same thing. Like if you would you recommend someone who treated you badly in your job? Obviously not. So it's the same thing for you. Treat everyone kindly, and even people and yeah, even people who can't give anything back to you, because like it's not about if the person can give you something back or not. It's just about being kind, generally kind, right? And join community groups. So participate in local or online Java developer communities, and that's so important. I'm pretty sure that you must have a Java user group close to you. So leverage that. Start participating in this Java user group. Start contributing with something. Ask the Jug leader if they have something you can help with, because you're going to be close to many speakers. You're going to be close to top references. You're going to be learning with strong technical references. So why not go into those conferences and building this networking, which will be very important for your career. And also regarding professional development, it's useful to get the Java certification to enhance your credibility and marketability. And it's also very useful to get the AWS certification, because with this certification, you're going to have a better big picture view of microservices, and you're going to also be solving problems with this AWS certification that are pretty real. Like it's from your day-to-day job, so it will help you to solve real world problems. And also, I highly recommend you to create a project. If it's even better if you can create something that will be useful for you, or maybe a product idea. But if you don't have any idea, just create a pet project that doesn't have to make sense, but it's important to create something so that you can use new technology, so that you can practice, so that you can make microservices communicate to each other, so that you can containerize your microservices and deploy them in the cloud. And maybe you can put a security layer in your microservices. You can test a load balancer. You can test many things with a pet project. So it's excellent for your learning. Instead of only learning your job, sometimes you don't have the same freedom you would have to create software in your own computer. When you create software in your own computer, you have, you can use any technology you want. You can test any case scenario you want. You can test any design pattern you want, any microservices pattern. So it's a great idea to just, create your own project and run your tests, and that will also serve as a portfolio for you. And on the top of that, the most important thing is that you're going to be increasing and improving your skills by doing that. So, and what else? And so it's also important that you do job market research. So how can you do that? You can, ask your friends, how is the market going? Or you can, go to LinkedIn and see what companies you can apply for, because really nowadays, the main place to get a job is on LinkedIn, right? In most countries, like it's worldwide, LinkedIn is a very strong social media for work and to get a job. So check it out on LinkedIn, on the city you want to work for, and check what they are asking for, what they need for Java developers. And obviously, you need to adapt to what the market needs. So if you are working with legacy projects for a long time, then you have to be really careful. You can't rely on your job to study new things. You have to study new things outside of your job. So that's why creating a pet project is so important, so that you can test all of those microservices technologies. You can even test AI. You can run some tests with some AI APIs, and that will help you to keep up with those new technologies as well. So you also need to manage your mental health. So it's important to create routines. It doesn't mean that you have to follow a certain routine forever, but it's good to have, at least some rules. Like maybe, like every day, you create a list of 3 small things you're gonna finish, 3 small things that you're gonna accomplish. And if you do that the whole year, you're gonna have so many things that you're gonna accomplish, right? Remember that if you improve at least 1% every day, you're gonna become a lot better in the end of the year. So you don't need to embrace the world every day, because you're learning. Your career is like a marathon, right? Because your career is more than 30 years maybe. So it's a long time. Like you won't win the game if you start running very intensively, because you're gonna lose your energy very quickly. Instead, it's much better to be consistent and to ensure that you're going to the right direction. And one way to ensure that you're going to the right direction, the quickest way, is to have a mentor, to have someone who will guide you to achieve your career goals. So if you don't have that, you're gonna take longer. It's gonna be more painful. So I'm happy that I made the decision several times of doing mentorships, because that saved me so much time and money, because I could grow a lot quicker in my career, and I could get a raise a lot quicker as well. So also seek for support from families, friends, or even psychologists. Psychologists are great to manage stress. Like you can talk about your feelings, your frustrations, and that will help you to process and overcome feelings of stress or anxiety. Anxiety is so common for developers, right? Because there are so many things to learn, and sometimes you feel overwhelmed, you feel the imposter syndrome. There's a lot going on, right? So it's useful to go to a psychologist, for example, and talk about your issues, your challenges, so that you don't stay in your mind. Like, because in a psychologist you have like the freedom to say whatever you want, right? And then it helps you to process all of those feelings of imposter syndrome, anxiety, stress, all of those feelings that will, in time affect your mental health. So walking in nature is another great thing, because it helps you to gain clarity for your next career steps. Okay, so another thing that will help you overcome the fear of long-term unemployment is to have a little bit of financial planning. So, don't spend your money on stupid things. Like when you are spending your money, like invest your money, invest in yourself, because you know that this money will go back. If you spend your money with stupid things like useless clothes or useless objects, and I don't mean that you can't have fun. You can have fun, that's fine from time to time, but the problem is if you spend a lot of money on useless things, that will definitely impact you. Because when you need to invest the money to grow in your career, then you won't have money for the important things, and then you won't grow, and then you're gonna stay where you are. You're gonna take a lot longer to grow. You're gonna take a lot longer to have a salary raise, right? So you have to learn how to budget your money, to use your money, to invest your money whenever you have the opportunity to do something to grow your career faster, right? Because the longer you wait to invest your career, the longer you're gonna take to grow your career as well. So it's very important to know how to budget your money so that you invest in the right things and you grow fast in your career. And another thing is to create an emergency fund for at least 6 months. Like you make a calculation of how much you need to survive and make sure you have at least money for 6 months so that you don't live from paycheck to paycheck. The worst situation ever is to live from paycheck to paycheck, because that puts you in a very bad position in the market. Why? Because, for example, if you are unemployed, you're gonna have to accept any job position they offer you, even if it's horrible, even if they pay you low salary, even if it's toxic, even if it affects your health. You're gonna be working for a horrible company, earning low salary because you don't have an emergency fund. So you have to think ahead. So you have to have at least 6 months salary in your account, so that when you lose your job, you are fine, right? So at least 6 months, it's the minimum, right? And you have to learn about, at least the basics of investing, right? Because you have to make your money work for you. And as software developers, we have, an above average salary. So don't leave your money on your bank account. You are, if you are doing that, you're losing money, right? So learn at least the basics of investing. Learn the basics. Put your money on the stock market, on real estate, whatever you prefer. But the worst mistake you can make is to leave your money in the bank, because inflation will eat all your money. So if you are doing nothing with your money, I'm sorry to tell you the obvious, they are losing money. So it's important to have an emergency fund, because at least 6 months, otherwise you are basically a hostage of the bad companies. Because if you're not lucky enough to get a good job, you're gonna have to accept any job that is horrible, that has a horrible culture. People are toxic, people are vicious, so it's not worth it. So you have to prepare yourself to not go into those situations. And you can also do some freelancing. Like there are some freelancing platforms like Upwork or Freelancer or Workana, so that you can find short-term projects, and then you can get some experience, you can create a portfolio that will definitely help you. You can also do consulting, and if you know a company that needs your consultancy, go for it. It's gonna help you to gain experience and to gain money. And also remember that you need to be always learning. So take advantage of free or paid online courses to keep your skills sharp and up to date. Nowadays, you can find YouTube courses everywhere. You can find high quality courses on YouTube or Coursera. There are many platforms where you can learn. Or Udemy, you can find very cheap courses there. So you can, if you need to learn Kafka, you can buy a course for, $15, and then you can learn Kafka. I know that it's not the course what prevents you to grow in your career. The problem, most of the problem for many Java developers is that they lack focus, right? Because the information is out there in the internet, right? But if you lack focus, doesn't matter. You're gonna be bombarded with the wrong information, you're gonna be studying the wrong thing, and you want to grow in your career. It won't work. So that's why it's important to have someone guiding you so that you don't waste your time with all of this useless information we see on the internet, you know. But at the same time, you have to know, okay, what are the most critical skills I need to improve now. Then once you learn that, then you can try and do your best to focus on the things that you need the most. But it's important to have this mindset of always keep learning. So always improve your skills, always, getting better. And about reading, there are so many books, so many good books like Effective Java, Java Coding Problems, Building Microservices, Data Intensive Design. All of those books are excellent. So get those books, study those books, understand what's going on in the market, do interviews, see how it goes, and so at least the classic books, you need to read them because that will help you a lot to become a better software engineer. It doesn't mean that you have to read those books necessarily, but the most important thing is to keep learning and to be able to solve problems. That's what the company wants. The company wants someone, a software developer, who is able to solve problems. So you don't need necessarily to read a book to solve problems, but it will definitely help you. So if you read a classic book like Effective Java, or the books about design patterns, or books about refactoring, or books about clean code, or about solid, all of those concepts will help you to create better code. And guys, creating good code is so important, right? Because readability is so important. That will make you stand out as a developer, because really creating code that the machine understands, anyone can create that, but good developers are able to create readable code, and they are able to solve complex problems, right? So good software engineers are those software engineers who, when they get a problem, they figure it out, right? Even if they never seen that problem before, they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna talk to the right person. They're gonna research the right technologies. They're gonna research what tools they can use to solve that problem. They're gonna research everything, and they're gonna understand, and they're gonna understand the problem from the root cause, and they're gonna solve the problem. So those are the developers who are the most valuable in the market nowadays. I see more and more that the companies are valuing a lot more generalists. And when I say generalists, it's like, it doesn't mean that you know Java very shallowly, because as a Java developer, it's your duty to know Java very well. Doesn't mean that you have to know Java like so well that you know all the features, all the APIs, that you know how the JVM works from inside out. It's not that. You just need to know the main Java features. You need to know about object-oriented programming. You need to know about how to use solid with Java. You need to know the main design patterns and use those design patterns with Java. And you need to know how to create, the basics, like good method names, good classes names. All of those things will help you to create high quality code, and your coworkers will also thank you because they're going to be able to understand your code far more easily, right? So if there is a bug or if there is a feature to add in your code, it's going to be easier. You won't struggle so much to read the code. And we read the code 10 times more than we write code. So we are all the time reading code. So like to improve those skills of writing better code is very, very important. But nowadays it's not only that, right? You need to know a lot about architecture as well, because with microservices and cloud systems, you have to know about those concepts. And it's also crucial to think about your personal branding. So what do I mean by that? So personal branding, so it's basically your marketing, right? So how people know that you are a good software developer. There are some ways to do that. Well, there are the obvious ones. You can create a portfolio website. You can create, there is WordPress offer a platform, free platform, where you can create your own blog for free. And you can put there some articles, or you can put, code or the projects you worked with. Or you can create your portfolio, and you can include your GitHub profile, your GitHub repository on your LinkedIn profile or on your CV. And then the interviewer will see your projects and technologies that you are able to work with. So that's a way to build a personal branding with a good, decent portfolio. Or you can create articles on LinkedIn as well. Or you can simply create a microservice and you can deploy it in Amazon, and then you can generate your domain. Then you can create your little system on the internet, and you can expose this little system so that other people can see the system you created. You can also consider blogging about Java development. And well, it doesn't need to be necessarily about Java. You can blog about any other programming language, or maybe architecture, anything that's relevant for your career growth. And by doing that consistently, you build up your personal branding. You become a reference, and that also helps you to fill out the gaps of your learning, because the more you share your knowledge, the more you improve your communication skills, and the more you also become a reference, because you start helping people, empowering other developers, and they start seeing you as a reference, as someone who empowers them to achieve their career goals. So why not blogging, right? It's a great way to learn as well. It's a great way to improve your communication skills, and your communication skills is so important. It will help you to grow so much. And another great action to take is to work on your mindset. So why am I talking about mindset when we are talking about unemployment and software development? What's the connection between that? So your mindset is very important, because if you have a weak mindset, you give up very easily, right? Or you get emotionally attacked very easily as well. So, or if you don't work on your mindset, it might be that your ego is very fragile. And when your ego is very fragile, you're not even able to take feedback. And when you're not able to take feedback, it means that you're gonna have only your perspective. So all the blind spots, all the mistakes you're making, and if you don't ask for feedback for other people, you're gonna be always blind, and you're gonna think you are growing, that you're improving, but you're not, right? So that's why it's so important to work on your mindset, because if you're not working on your mindset, anything will get you upset. Or if someone gives you a feedback, you won't be prepared to take the feedback. Or if someone attacks you, You want to know how to react to that. So there are many situations where your mindset is very important. And another crucial thing about your mindset is that it's very easy to give up to achieve your career dreams, right? And if you don't have the right mindset, it's easy to, just spend your time like just checking out social media, checking your phone, just navigating randomly on YouTube and wasting your time. When you don't work on your mindset, it's easy to just, be comfortable, have the victim mindset, blame others, and say, hey, it's not my fault that I'm not growing my career, it's my manager's fault. And when you take this attitude, it's impossible for you to grow in your career, right? Because if it's not your fault, it's your manager's fault, I will have to tell you that you have zero control over other people. So if this means that you're giving over your power to your manager, and your manager really, if he or she doesn't want to promote you, it will never happen. You have zero control over that. So you have to keep in mind that if you don't work on your mindset, you're going to be always controlled by someone else. And that's horrible to hear, but that's the truth. If you don't work on your mindset, you're going to be weak to any situation that happens in your life. And what you want instead is to be strong, is to be mentally tough. So, and how can you work on your mindset? By reading books. There are so many personal development books that are excellent. And I highly recommend you to do that, because if you only read technical books, you're going to make the same mistake I made in the past, where I was only focusing on technical content. And other developers who had similar technical skills than me, but they were earning 4 times my salary because they had soft skills I didn't have. They knew how to negotiate their salaries. They knew how to communicate to other people. They knew how to pass a good impression. They knew how to sell, how to gain visibility within the work, so that people were seeing them as more valuable because they had those soft skills I lacked, right? Even though I was focusing only on technical skills, and I was even better technically than them, it didn't matter because they were a lot better on soft skills that were more important. I wouldn't say more important, but they could like multiply their soft skills, their technical skills with their soft skills. That made them a lot more valuable than my work, for example. And I was making this mistake, and I don't want you to make this mistake as well. I know that maybe most of you think that only technical skills are important, but that's not the truth, right? So I want you to open your eyes on that, because if you think that it's only technical skills, it's gonna take a long time for you to grow in your career. So I want you to wake up and say, hey, technical skills is not everything. It's important. I need that. Yes, you definitely need technical skills. You need to be good at creating good code, high quality code. You need to know about system design. You need to know about algorithms. But you need to know about soft skills as well. If you don't know how to negotiate your salary, you're going to have a low salary. And the companies will dictate your salary. It will be useless, right? So it doesn't matter how good you are technically. If you don't know how to negotiate, the company will dictate your salary, and period. So you need to know how to gain visibility. You need to know how to create standout LinkedIn profile. You need to know how to communicate. You need to know how to share your knowledge, even within your company. You don't need to go to a conference and talk to 1,000 people. You need to at least share your knowledge, even to a junior developer, right? So as a more experienced developer, go to a junior developer, share your knowledge with this junior developer, right? Because the more you do that, the more you improve your communication skills, the more you help this developer to grow faster in their careers. And you help also the company in the company's growth, because the better everyone gets, the better the project gets, the better the code gets. So it's good for everyone, right? So do you have any questions? So if you have any questions, please write on the chat, because I'll be happy to answer you. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. We are over 30 minutes in this live. So thank you so much, everyone. And just to remind you, this is just the warm-up series. And the real event, the most important event, happens in the next week on Monday, Wednesday, and on Friday. Those events are key for your career transformation. And the videos will be released on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. London time. So I'm looking forward to seeing you there. And if you couldn't watch it now during the live, it's okay, because the video will be recorded. And I'm really happy and excited to seeing you, and to be helping you in your career as a Java developer. So that's pretty much it. And as always, break your limits.